Now moving on to our next category. This is of course going to be knockout of the year. And now to most of you, this is going to be the kind of easiest one of the year, especially given the poll results that we got that I'll be sharing with you guys once we're done with all this. And so we can get your awards too. But I think we got to start off with two of them and then lead into the heavy betting favorite with this one. I'm going to start us off. Two of the three of these actually came at the same event in UFC 250. UFC 250 actually had a good amount of fights and kind of submissions and nominations on this list. But the first one that happened of the night was going to be your boy, Blake. Sugar Sean O'Malley dropping Eddie Wineland with a knockoff KO early in the first round.
That was a good one right there. That was a really good one.
And then the next one is going to be Team Alpha Male guy Cody Garbrandt making his return in a long time to the UFC Octagon. He goes out and right in the last second of round 2, ducks under and hits this Rafael Sunsao with one of the heaviest right hooks I've ever seen in my life.
Literally a right hook from the frickin' floor.
It was stupid.
Insanity.
I have no idea how he even made that with the timing of the round. Literally, on the fight records, it shows 4:59 in round 2. You can't get closer to the buzzer than that. And then, of course, pretty sure our favorite and the one that most of you guys did agree with, it's going to be Joaquin Buckley's just insane spinning back kick against
whatever you call that. Mortal Kombat, we'll call it.
Mortal Kombat. A UFC Fight Island 5 in round 2. I mean, this thing was something that you don't even see in video games, which is just what he did for like having his foot get caught, then jumping up and hitting this dude with a spinning back kick and seeing Impa's like eyes kind of roll into the back of his head. He thought he was a statue for a second, and then he fell back. It was gross.
Yeah, no, that was super impressive for sure.
So which out of these ones, Blake, out of these nominations, who do you have taken home this award?
Well, since my award doesn't really mean anything. I'm not giving anyone any money or anything like that. I figured I would go with someone different than what the majority the majority that I felt was going to be voting. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling everyone's going for Joaquin Buckley, and they have every right to do that. I think he had an amazing, phenomenal knockout that it's not going to be replicated, in probably like 100 years, really. However, I thought Cody Garbrandt, in terms of knockout of the year, just the buzzer beating aspect of it, the fact that he's on a 3-fight KO streak himself of losses. That could have been his last fight in the UFC. If Austin Sao takes him out, especially if he devastatingly took him out again, like had been happening against Munoz, against Dillashaw, that could have been his last fight in the UFC. So I thought there was a lot hanging on that. The moment, not only just the fact that it was a buzzer beater, but the moment, everything leading up to that, all of that was weighing on his shoulders. And for him to go out there and freaking blast him into the next dimension, that just showed me like this guy he's still about it. Like he still has that championship medal in him, So that's what I would choose for knockout of the year personally. Cody Garbrandt.
I don't think it's a solid argument for sure. And for what, like you said, for being able to kind of come back from the grave kind of in terms of his career and pretty much to save it. And then that fight put him into a title bout for the bantamweight for the flyweight belt, which is crazy. And he only pulled out of that because of injuries. And he still might get that flyweight shot soon. I would love to. I mean, after the rematch.
Right.
After the rematch of that fight, which of course is a nominee later on in our fight of the year, he could get a fight against the winner. And honestly, I would, in terms of the spectacle that it would bring,
I would be mad about it.
I'm not complaining if we get to see that matchup.
Especially the way we saw those guys fight each other, Figueiredo and Moreno. Literally, either of those guys fighting Garbrandt, that's gonna be fireworks in a freaking dumpster.
And that's a fight that probably doesn't end up in a draw because there's no way
it's gonna be a knockout for sure. Someone's gonna get charged up and they're gonna start swinging for the fences.
Someone's gonna get put to sleep. And they kind of, when you bring kind of that up, what we saw going into Cody Garbrandt's fight is like are we going to see a changed guy? Because recently he's been getting knocked out is because he'll get into kind of like a slugfest and things will get sloppy. Then he'll just kind of let go. And he stayed very composed in that fight against Rafael. And that knockout he had was just perfect. It was just perfect technique.
Yeah.
It wasn't like this crazy thing where he got in, where it just
Timing.
caught him. It was just a phenomenal knockout, and it
He was
wasn't
luring
sloppy.
him into that the whole second round. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you could tell like he had that same exact exchange. I don't know if it was up against the fence or not, but there's that same exact exchange. So he already had that timed. And then when he knew Austin Sai was going to throw that hook, he dips right underneath and comes with one over the top. Boom, night night.
He had that thing scouted the whole way. Now for me, Blake, don't call me basic, but just because the fact that this knockout was arguably the greatest knockout of all time, I don't think it is, but I could definitely put up there as top 3 of all time. I have to give it to Joaquin Buckley. I mean, I understand your point for not wanting to go with everyone tried to do something a little different. I mean, Cody Garbrandt is still very deserving of a award like this, but for me seeing a move that almost no one's ever seen and or done before, and for it to result in such a brutal knockout and to be able to propel his career the way it did, I gotta give it to Buckley.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Really do feel bad for input on this though, because he kind of was made famous for all the wrong reasons.
That's the fight game, though, man.
Right?
Sometimes you're getting knocked out on the billboard, and sometimes you're knocking someone out on the billboard. So
Hopefully he'll get back into it soon.